It is a question from our patients because they will come in and we'll have them lift maybe weights that are more than that they're probably used to, or they're very hesitant to lift more than 20-25 pounds. And the challenge is that they want to get stronger, they want to do things, and then when they try to encourage them to lift a little bit more weights, then they might think that I'm too old for that, or am I too old? Yeah,
there's
I'm
some
too old
beliefs out there that you need to tackle a little bit. Yeah.
So what do you think? What are you gonna say about?
As far as age goes, and for the older population, I don't think anybody's too old to lift. In fact, it's very beneficial. What puts stress on muscles would put stress on your bones. And so when you do that, you build your muscles and you build your bones. So that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's so true for your muscles, and it's very true for your bones too. Especially for women, as we get perimenopausal, it starts, and sarcopenia will start creeping in. Sarcopenia, by the way, is the muscle loss. And there's some normal muscle loss that would happen as we get older as women. Trying to mitigate that problem of progressive muscle loss, and then turns into bone loss. Lifting, aside from hormone therapy, something that's available is lifting. You can do it anywhere. You can use anything at home, that would be source of weight. Going back to it, lifting weights is, it's just a matter of, dosing, making sure that they understand why they're doing it at first, and what you're trying to achieve, how you're gonna do it, how do you progress with it, what to expect. I think those things needs to be clarified, before you start lifting with the older population, because there's a lot of fears and misconceptions on lifting, that it's gonna break bones or gonna tear up muscles, especially if they're combined with other more complicated patterns such as bending, twisting, things like that. So
because they have to gain also to our patients, you have to of course gain your confidence of doing it, because it is hard to I should not be doing that. I think the belief of I have this and I have that, I have a bad back,
or somebody told me
I have a deteriorating back. I think that's kind of ingrained in their mindset that
I have severe arthritis.
I'm not gonna do that. That's gonna damage my back. So to answer that, I'm not too old to lift weights. No, I mean you can go to YouTube. There are 80, 85-year-old, and our patients as well. I have a guy who, he retired before COVID, and during the COVID he regressed. So when he came in here, he was holding onto the walls and said, hey Cedric, my back's killing me, and I've got this and I've got that. I have a deteriorating back, deteriorating this, and all those scary words. And I wanted to go back again. I wanted to get strong again, and
you didn't realize it was the stiffness and the weakness that was developing from not engaging in these activities. Right? Is that what happened?
That's pretty much it. He retreated, and of course with pain you become scared. And also when we slowly progress our program, one of the things is strength training, because he wanted to go back and farm again. But at the end of the day, after several months, he ended up lifting more than 100 pounds, 150 pounds. So we were doing a Romanian deadlift. We were doing squats with weighted squats. It's 80, 90, 100 pounds. And at one point, after several months, he was actually picking up the hex bar with 150 pound weights. And why did we do that? There's nothing wrong getting, of course, stronger. And up to now, he now works out by himself regularly, and he hasn't been back to therapy. We'll see him work out at our gym because we have a gym right here. He'll come in and out. And he's back. In fact, he went back to work.
The older population would, of course, say that, right? I think I'm getting too old for that. So I call this distractions, and I call it should I say excuses? Especially if they're still living by themselves. And a lot of these older populations don't really want to depend on their children nowadays. Oftentimes I see people and they'll say I don't want to ask them and this and that and this and that, and they find themselves having more weakness from simply just believing that they shouldn't do all these things that keeps us strong, and they will find themselves sitting more and doing less. And when they start feeling some sort of discomfort on the thing that they're not doing as regular anymore, it becomes more and more difficult and more laborious. And so it's dangerous, because if their goal is to be independent as possible, and that they don't want to ask help from the people around them, even their loved ones, I don't know where they're going to find themselves. Simply going to the bathroom would be a chore for people. I see people having more and more difficulty walking from room to room in their own home, simply because, if you scale back on your walking and you don't like going out anymore, and so you don't get enough practice in walking. It's very common nowadays. People are getting their grocery delivered at home, or picking up. They drive to the store, pick it up, and come home and all that. And so people are simply declining by just the thought of, I'm getting older and I shouldn't do things like this. I think I could compare people's bodies as though we are cars. I think that would be easy for them to understand. We are like cars, but better than cars. Cars are not living things, right?
Yeah, cars are mechanical.
Yeah, they're mechanical. They don't regenerate. They don't heal or whatever. They need a mechanic to maintain, the goodness of them. Us, the true mechanics of our own body is actually our brain. Once we settle in a belief that's not right, we're weak and we're older and we can't do this and we shouldn't do this, and you're excused to do certain things, no lifting or whatever, that becomes a bad mechanic. You're a bad mechanic in your own body then. Because, you buy a car and it runs smooth. It's perfect. Because it's new. It doesn't have anything wrong, unless you buy a lemon. As the car gets older, don't you think that they need more maintenance?
Yes.
You need to take it, you need to take it to the mechanic more often. So, it's got more damages in it and all that. So it needs to be maintained. So as we get older, there's wrinkles on the outside, and we will have wrinkles on the inside. That might be degenerative changes, our muscles getting smaller. So we gotta fight it. We gotta have our own, mechanism in how to maintain and keep ourselves from aging rapidly. Because what happens to a car that sits in the garage?
Oh yeah, it will dry out.
It will dry out,
and the bearings, the bushings, all those rubber seals.
And if you try to start it, if you haven't started for a while, what happens?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't start anymore. It stalls. So and that's the way we are. Better than a car, definitely, because we have these cells that works for us, and if we just do the right things chemically, through movements and all that, and through nutrition, through sleep, pillars of health, basically, managing our stress, doing this, doing a little bit of this and doing a little bit of that, and we got to take care of our bodies. So
you're definitely not, we're not too old to lift weights, and I think we shouldn't be afraid of lifting weights.
because that's part of your
It's
trying to maintain
maintain
and fix
and
yourself.
robust.
Yeah.
Our body, we have to maintain our muscles, you know, and I think that's one of the you know, that's you affect your muscles, you affect your bone, and you really affect your your mental health. I think exercise has a lot of positive effects as
Yeah.
far as our mental health. You know,
Yeah.
secreting all those hormones that makes you feel
Right.
good, makes you feel happy.
Unfortunately, too, as we get older, one is true, uh, as far as getting older. There is normal aging, so it's a question of, do you want to age fast or do you want to age slow, or you even want to? There's such a thing as reversing people's biological age nowadays with the technology we have. So we have those choices, and depending on what we do with it, I think we could be in any of
Slow down.
that whole
Yeah.
spectrum there. You stay strong, you can keep walking and keep doing you keeping your home, you know, and you'd be able to do some very worthwhile, joyful, giving things, recreational activity wise, you know, engaging and learning things that you don't think that you could do because you're getting older, you're getting weaker. You know, develop some strength there, and maybe you can hike with your friends. You know, even go learn how to swim, things like that.
It doesn't have to be lifting like heavy weights or stuff like something heavy, right? It could be just like moving your body. I mean, you know, your ability to get yourself up from the floor, you know, to get down on your knee and maybe pick something up. That's lifting. That's like moving your body. So
I agree with that.
You can start with,
Yeah, one thing that we see in our clients is when they don't think they have to lift, they start having difficulties lifting their own weight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's like people would say, I only walked for 5 minutes and I was tired and my knees were hurting, my back was hurting. And definitely, if a person starts walking and they don't have pain, and they start developing pain or tightness or tiredness towards the end of whatever time they've given themselves, that is fatigue, that is muscle fatigue, and that is lack of muscle endurance and lack of strength. You know, there's definitely nothing wrong with that person when they started walking, but when it develops with duration, distance, whatever, it's just simply lacking strength, lacking endurance, and lacking those capabilities or those abilities to complete whatever you expect for your body to, you know, participate in.
Yeah. So, you know, we can really expand on this topic as far as, you know, lifting weights, getting stronger. I think lifting weights is very, very important, from not just for seniors, for everybody, you know. Robust, you know, our body to get stronger and to move better, and hopefully we can live longer, you know. So,